Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kijang Henriette. Before the 6:15 news, let's begin with our headlines. Five are reported to recondition the spoiled rice and send to the market. And coin scarcity causes whites in daily transactions. Reach fully at the Garwa Regional Hospital, but the population is calling for justice.
Mubarak's tiny body breathed energies. The 5-year-old's eyes were sparkling with curiosity, now dimly shone with tears of pain. His soft skin, now scarred and shards, a constant reminder of the brutal act inflicted upon him by his stepmother. He could hardly say anything. It all happened to him. Mubarak's ordeal began in the Leyte neighborhood in Gaira, 2 districts, where his stepmother's cruel hands inflicted severe burns on both hands. The young boy's life forever changed in an instant, his innocence shattered by unimaginable pain. It's quite shocking. The child came here with burns on both hands. Serious burns, I would say. Extremely bad. We are taking care of him, and the child is recovering gradually. As Mubarak receives treatment at the Gara Regional Hospital, his family and community rally around him, demanding justice for the heinous crime. The population say authorities must act swiftly to hold the perpetrators accountable and ensure Mubarak receives support he needs to heal. Mubarak's story is a heart-wrenching reminder of the darkest aspects of human nature, but one thing is certain, not be in vain.
House that is in Beaumont.
Fermented rice, repackaged to look market ready. These bags of the reconditioned rice at this warehouse, situated in Bomono, a locality on the outskirts of Douala, Cameroon, was reportedly headed to Bafoussam in the west region before the raid. Authorities acted after trailing a suspect from the Mbopi market to the warehouse and repackaged for human consumption despite being unfit. We immediately contacted officials from the regional delegation of trade so that we could take stock of the situation. The warehouse has been sealed and is now under guard.
Le magasin a été scellé.
Preliminary investigations by the control brigades of the Littoral Regional Delegation of Trade confirmed the product's potential health hazards. The contaminated rice was allegedly intended for sale in households nationwide.
Nous sommes tombés là en flagrant délit.
We uncovered an illicit commercial operation rarely seen in the Littoral region. Various infractions were found, including those related to weight, pricing, quality, and handling standards. The reconditioning of unit products is evident. The warehouse's unbearable odor and poor methods speak for themselves.
On ne devrait pas vraiment le mettre à la disposition du public. C'est une action salutaire.
This is a commendable effort. We are shocked that such criminals operated in our subdivision. We vow to remain vigilant henceforth.
Nous promettons beaucoup plus de vigilance dans les prochains jours.
Under local trade laws and Article 252 of the Penal Code, the suspects face charges that could lead to significant penalties. The warehouse has been sealed off, and authorities are urging the public to report similar suspicious activities. This operation highlights the ongoing efforts of law enforcement officers to combat food fraud and safeguard public health.
And there is an acute shortage of coins that is equally spreading across the country, disrupting many businesses. The lack of small change, as it is often known, is paralyzing daily transactions, and people are saying they are struggling to grapple with the situation and, of course, looking for solutions. Sheriff Asale takes a look on that.
It's another hot day in Douala, and the city's residents are feeling the pinch, not just of the heat, but of the lack of coins that keeps the economy running smoothly. Mama Francoise, a market regular, walks back home under the scorching sun. she couldn't afford the convenience of a motorbike ride home, not because she didn't have the money, but because the bike rider had no coins to provide her change.
Je suis en train de rentrer comme ça, marcher à pied pour aller à la maison. Je souffre avec tout le soleil ici.
The ripple effects are being felt across all sectors. Market vendors complain of reduced sales as buyers struggle to make transactions. Many are forced to round off their transactions.
Tu n'as pas 200 pour compléter, sur tes 1000 francs quand tu rembourses 500, il n'y a pas de monnaie.
Hier soir, j'ai abandonné ma monnaie au supermarché parce qu'il n'y a pas moyen de retrouver la monnaie.
Many residents suggest that the government should intervene by printing smaller denominations in banknotes to alleviate the shortage.
Où il n'y a pas les pièces, envoyez-nous les billets. Même si c'est 250, on va utiliser.
Il y a les billets de 100 francs, 50, ça va nous arranger.
Despite an announcement last September by the Bank of Central African States, BEAC, regarding efforts to address the coin supply issue, the situation on ground remains largely unchanged.
And we'll move over to the northwest region where the situation is now calm after a tense atmosphere leading to the election of a new bureau in the Cameroon Baptist Convention. And after a series of annulments and bans by the authorities, the elections finally took place. Ambo Gladys with calls from Northwest Chief Correspondent Nanny Collins.
The Alliance for Political Change.
After legal battles and administrative bans and counter-bans, the Cameroon Baptist Convention now has a new executive bureau headed by 44-year-old Reverend Dr. Teke John Ekema as executive president. Those to pilot the affairs of the CBC also include the Reverend Kongo John Kwa as chairman and Sofa Caroline Monte as vice chairperson, all for a 5-year renewable term of office as approved by the new constitution, which was also voted through a referendum on the same day. The recent elections and referendum were held under a tense atmosphere at the CBC headquarters in Kwen, Bamenda, with security overseen by gendarmes and the divisional officer for Bamenda 3, who had just lifted an earlier administrative ban overnight for the election to take place.
We have a new team in place, and we are looking forward to working together to continue moving the Cameroon Baptist Convention forward. A lot has gone under the bridge. A lot of water has gone under the bridge. And we don't want to revisit the past. We want to focus on the future. There is a lot that we can do together.
The outgoing executive president, Reverend Diteme Charlemagne, threw in the towel at the last minute for what observers said was for the sake of peace. With a new constitution now in hand to serve as a compass, Reverend Teke John can know which direction to take.
My agenda, of course, like I said, is to pursue development. And for that to happen, we have to cultivate an atmosphere of peace. And therefore, I'm going to do everything possible in my capacity, God helping me, to try to bring the different factions together, that we may work together. Because you remember I said that we have just one common enemy, and that is the evil one, the devil, who is the adversary, who is the accuser of the brethren.
The elections and referendum took place in various towns and localities around the country, with the tallying of trends done at the headquarters in Bamenda, which led to the proclamation of the final results in this hall. On the same day, departments of the church also took turns to elect their own leaders, probably for a new dawn at the Cameroon Baptist Convention.
Thanks very much, Ambo Gladys. We move over to the West region, precisely in Fumban, where Haisincha is standing by with updates of the 548th edition of the Ngwon Cultural Festival that flagged off this morning. And of course, we are gathering that thousands and thousands of people, if not millions, will be streaming into Fumban from across the globe. Hello, Haisin. Good evening to you all.
Henry, and welcome to the Ngun village here in Bamun. And I must say the Ngun village is vibrating already. Officially opened, or activities here officially launched today. The Sultan was here himself, Sultan Nabil Bumbunjoya was here himself to ensure that activities kickstart in a very good footing. He was here to visit the key stands here. He went round visiting the different stands here and giving different recommendations to the organizing committee as to how they can better manage the organization with what is left at the moment. And he equally visited the new podium, or the stage that has been constructed here under the patronage of the Minister of Arts and Culture. He visited it and then officially launching it to be used. And as you can see behind me, there is a ceremony ongoing right now, which is the senior divisional officer for the Nun division, who is actually actualizing the first usage of the stage behind me. And here in the Ngun village today, the arrival of the king was a key moment, like I earlier mentioned, a key moment where all the thousands of people that were here were rushing to just catch a glimpse of him here at the Ngun village as they look forward to enter day 2 of the activities here tomorrow.
À la lumière de la loi 2001 du 20 juillet 2020 régissant les associations artistiques et culturelles.
Well, we are expecting to get Hyson back with updates. Of course, they are going to be there for 10 days as the festival unfolds. And just to remind our televiewers that this is the 548th edition of the Ngun Cultural Festival, flagged off early this morning. We want to thank you graciously for being there with us. But then let's move over to this other story, and particularly in the northwest region of the country. Now we have political stories where the Alliance for Political Change has announced a consensus candidate for the 2025 presidential election in Cameroon. Of course, this is going to pave the way for a unified opposition towards reshaping the country's future. Details with Morindi.
The Alliance for Political Change has announced a consensus candidate for the 2025 presidential election in Cameroon. In a press conference in Douala, the coalition of political parties and associations revealed its decision to opt for open primaries to choose a candidate and not around individuals. Our vision is a real foundation of Cameroon. It is inscribed in our manifesto. We have put in place a period of transition based on 4 years, which is not renewable. To make our voices heard, we are not taking the guns, Cameroon, and our candidates will have 4 years of mandate, not renewable, and it has the obligation to put in place 7 priority projects of the refoundation of Cameroon. This move is part of the Alliance strategy to achieve its noble objective of refounding the country. The Alliance is extending an invitation to other political parties to join them in this new era focused on Pan-Africanism, sovereignty, and prosperity for Cameroonians and Africans.
Ce candidat peut être un membre de l'ATP.
We would choose a candidate through our primaries, which will be carried out not only in Cameroon, but in the diaspora as well. But we're going to prioritize digitalization as a way of reaching out to a majority of Cameroon. The Alliance prioritized areas of focus, including open primaries and refoundation, demonstrate its commitment to transparency, inclusivity, and the well-being of Cameroonians and Africans. As the political landscape in Cameroon continues to evolve, the Alliance for Political Change is poised to play a pivotal role in shaping the country's future.
Thanks very much, Maureen. We stay with you as you are telling us that a new book titled The Construction of a Developmental State, The Case of Cameroon, has been launched. And according to the authors of this book, if people are networking, it might lead to greater achievements and development. Maureen.
The book launch on November 28 in Douala highlights the importance of community-led development and proposes a new model that prioritizes local networks.
We are having here two forces in opposition, you understand. Some, they would like to keep the statu quo. Why? Because with that, they will maintain their ownership and they will maintain what they are doing here forever. People are fighting very hard to keep the statu quo and for the system to not move. On the other side also, there are some people that are afraid to participate, to act, to take action so that things can improve.
Construction of a developmental state, the keys of Cameroon. The authors Jimmy Yap and Vincent Kongjok argue that this approach can lead to successful development in Cameroon.
We are not talking about a revolution. We are talking about how we can improve our life. You can see the life we are having in this country is not always the best, you know. People, they would like to improve the quality of their life. And improving the quality of your life, you have to fight for that. You have to act for that. You have to push for that.
The book launch on November 28 drew a diverse crowd, including politicians, and sparked important questions about the role of community networks in development, with hopes the debates will shed light on the potential for innovative solutions to drive progress in Cameroon. The authors, Jimmy Yap and Vincent Kongjok, are both experts in diverse domains and Cameroonian natives.
And that draws the curtain for this edition of the news on Canal International. I've been Kejang Henry Atimbe, wishing you a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.